Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about how I fell off the no fabric buy wagon. In my defense, last week I was in Hamilton, Missouri, home of the Missouri Quilt Company. So you can see where falling off the no fabric buy wagon would be a possibility. And I was within an hour of quilting is my therapy. So between the daily deals and no shipping and Angela Walters' adorable quilt store, I had a relapse. So let me share with you what my relapse entailed, and I will assure you that I am back on the no fabric buy wagon until, of course, the 5th Saturday of the month when my local quilt shop, Busy Lady Quilt Shop in Mount Washington, has their 5th Saturday sale. So if you have a Busy Lady bag on the 5th Saturday of the month, you can get 25% off whatever you put in that bag. So stay tuned for a little shout out to Busy Lady and Cut Up and Sew, which are quilt shops that donated to our retreat. So where do I begin? Let's begin with my retreat. We had a 3 Amigas Quilt Retreat with Di from Sister Chicks, Tracy from the Sewing Channel, and myself. And we had fabric there to purchase. So really and truly, no, I went ahead and purchased fabric there once I fell off the wagon. So I will show you what we've got. This is a little office print with office chairs on it. And here is kind of a coordinating print that has office lamps, which I thought was really cute. So I'm sure I will be doing something with that soon. And then here, I'll get closer. This is a blender fabric that I thought was pretty. And I'm thinking blender or backing. Here is a fabric that I can use for a blender or a backing. Now, a lady at the quilt retreat had the perfect quilt with prints that matched these fabrics perfectly. So I got a little bit of each of them. Again, they can be blenders or backings. And the last one is kind of a nice mint. Also can be a blender or a backing. This is a quilt kit. It's Ingrid's Framed Squares Quilt Kit. It is a denim quilt kit. It was the daily deal last week, which would have been in 2025, sometime between April 29th and May 3rd. And essentially, it's just squares with borders or frames around it. And I can do either applique or maybe some embroidery in those squares. Couldn't resist it. So continuing on with Missouri Star, this was one of the daily deals, 10-inch squares by Cafe. I can't resist their daily deals. While I was in Hamilton, the Missouri Star Quilt Company had all of their pre-cuts 25% off. So, I had to get a jelly roll. Aren't those colors pretty? And kind of matches my Cafe. I also got this stack of fat quarter blenders. It was on sale. Some scissors. This was another daily deal. It was 3 yards of a batik, a navy blue batik. Nice backing. And here is the binding mat. So you set your iron on top and then you push your binding underneath or pull it underneath, and it makes binding easier. So I'll give you a demonstration of that when I use it. These fabrics were on clearance. So as you see, I have an affinity for purple and teal because this also goes with my jelly roll. This is the same fabric in a different colorway. And then I got some NASCAR fabric because I have several people in my family who like NASCAR. And you know, it was on clearance. And then I found this. It kind of looks like an orange peel, but I thought that would be a pretty blender. And then I got a fat quarter bundle. I've actually used 2 of these fabrics to make a project bag, but here you can see the pretty colors. I really like these. And it was fat quarter, so it was on sale. Let's see. I think that's it for Missouri Star. Now I had to go to Quilting Is My Therapy because, you know, I love to watch Angela Walters and I wanted to see her shop. Here I'm going to insert a little tour of her shop, which is adorable. And what's really awesome, all of those challenges that she has, the free motion quilting challenges, she's got the panels and the borders and all the fabric and thread that you can get for those quilting challenges. And a lot of the fabric in her shop she designed. So that was kind of cool too. All right, everybody, here is Quilting Is My Therapy in Liberty, Missouri. It is a cute little town. And we are on the main square. So cute. The front windows have quilts. Isn't that a cool pattern? Bear claw. Okay, let's go in. They are open. How cute is this shop? There's the thread. Her books. Some cool fabric and a cool quilt. Those are from her free motion quilting challenges. Oh, I love those. Those are my colors. Hocus Pocus. I'm gonna go turn around. So we've got rulers, and then another panel with borders from her free motion quilting challenge. All right, so I'm going to show you out the fabric. Here are the panels for the national parks. There's the cutting area. Quilts everywhere. It's awesome. Thread, notions. More notions. Here's the clearance. Ooh, look at the pillow. I love that pattern. Diamond in a diamond. Somebody's quilt is getting worked on. Got quilting gloves and stencils. Had to get a shirt. Love it. These two fabrics were on sale. So, you know, I think these are roses. They're really pretty. This is one of her collections, and I got it specifically for a pattern that I'm going to show you. Okay. So here are the different fabrics. These are the feature fabrics. And then here is my background fabric. So it's got the gray and the mauve, and it looks like paint splatter. Angela does an annual mystery quilt block of the month, and I think she calls hers Build a Quilt. So they have a basket in her shop, and I'm going to assume that these are from previous mystery quilt blocks of the month or Build a Quilts. And of course my husband chooses to mow, so if you hear that in the background, that's why. I'm gonna try and wait until he passes by. So you can pick 10 of these blocks for $19.99, which is an awesome price. And what comes in it is the pattern, and then also she prints her own fabric. So you get this panel that has all the different pieces of fabric, but it's just on one strip of fabric. How awesome is that? So I was fortunate enough to find 10 blocks from the same Build a Quilt session. So I found 1 through 10 of this black and yellow. I'm gonna make a quilt, and I'm going to show you how I do it. I am also working on this year's Build a Quilt, and I need to get started on that, and I'm going to take you along with me on that ride as well. Oh, 2. I thought I only had one more thing. I also got this charm pack by Camille Roskelly. I mean, so cute. So cute. So I can't wait to do something with that. So the fabrics that I showed you in Angela's line, I bought to make a Bargello quilt. Because when I walked in her shop, this Bargello quilt in these colors was hanging up on the wall. And I always hesitate to buy quilt kits just because I'm gonna make something that a lot of other people made. I don't know what difference it makes. I'm just a goofball like that. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna pick these fabrics, use this pattern, and make the quilt. And the more I thought about it, I kept thinking to myself, these are my colors. I love these colors. And if you look, there they are. So instead of just buying the pattern and the fabrics that I chose to do the Bargello, I bought this too, because my fear was I was going to be so disappointed in this quilt because it didn't have these colors in it. So I'm just going to make it twice. I'm crazy. I do know that. I'm going to Ireland. You have until May 20th to decide if you would like to go with me too. I'm going to pop a QR code up in the corner of the screen, and you can use your phone or whatever device you have to go check it out. It's $4,117 for 9 days in Ireland, and that includes your airfare from JFK. It includes your airfare from New York. I can't remember if it's JFK or LaGuardia, so it's a really good deal. It is the trip of a lifetime. We are going to be doing so many things. We're going to see crystal carving. We are going to the Titanic Museum. We are going to see a castle. We are going to see the cliffs of Moher. We are going to shop for woolen products. We are going to go to Belfast, Dublin. It's just going to be awesome, and I so hope that you can join me. Have a great day. Eat some chocolate and be kind to everyone. Until next time, bye.